Okay, guys, so here we go with this little thing about the superhero Grandad, and I wanted to tell you the latest thing that's happened. So, so the Spy Kids, they were back in Maryland, and then they heard about some problem that they were having in Trinidad. So they all flew over to Trinidad, and everybody, all the Spy Kids were a big help, and they had all these carts, and they were pushing all the luggage and the car seats and everything, and they got to Trinidad and had a good night's sleep. And then the next morning, they had a healthy breakfast. And before they could leave the house, though, they had to pick up all the toys. And they were very happy to do that. And they were very pleasant. And they were helping their mother and father. And that's what Spy Kids do. But the problem that they found out was that there was a problem down at Maracas Beach. So Superhero Grandad, he wasn't going to upset the kids too much, so he drove them down to the Maracas Beach. And wow, when they got there, the beach was all full of junk. It was people couldn't even get onto the beach because it was full of trash and papers and empty junk food containers and broken toys, and you couldn't even swim. And so they said, well, what are we going to do here? We've got to figure this out. And so they said, well, this to me looks like the work of the evil genius. And so, because who would be that mean and who would be that thoughtless to pollute a beautiful beach like Maracas Beach? But they could actually hear some kind of a noise, and then they realized it was the evil genius. He was laughing. They could hear him laughing. So what they did was they decided, well, how are we going to figure this out? Where are we going to get him? And so one of the Spy Kids started off away from the beach a little bit, started running around because she could run as fast as the wind. Because she would, in fact, when she was at soccer practice, she could beat all the boys. But so that came in real handy. So she was running all around the area, and she discovered where the evil genius was hiding. And so she got her big brother to help her. And the trouble with that is when you try to corner the evil genius, he can escape pretty easily. But the big brother, he figured out, because he's just too smart. He gets straight A's in school, and he's helpful to all of his friends and the little kids that he helps out to teach them how to play soccer. And so he figured out how the evil genius was going to escape, and so he stopped him. And so they started to go after him, and what the evil genius was doing was he was running down the beach and trying to escape. And the sister was chasing him, and she's almost catching him. And then this funny thing happened was the tiny little brother, the little Spy Kid, he saw him coming, and he threw a banana peel out on the beach. And the evil genius, he slipped on the banana peel and fell down. And then the people were able to get around him and circle him. And they were very, very, very rough with the evil genius, who, by the way, is Colonel Sanders. And they pulled on his beard, and they messed up his white suit. But they said, you're going to have to clean this beach up, because we can't stand for this. This is for everybody's use, and you've made it a big, big mess. So they called, and they figured, well, this is going to be a big job. How are we going to do all of this? And even after we get all the trash, what are we going to do with all the trash? So what they did was the Spy Kids, they knew because sometimes they live in the USA, they knew that the most generous man in the whole world, Donald Trump, would help them out. So they got in touch with Donald Trump, and then he paid for all of these big trucks to come, and they cleaned up the beach, and they put all the trash in these trucks, and they carted it away. And then when the last truck was pulling out, people were so happy. And so what they were doing was they were just standing around there having a beverage, and they were eating a lot of bacon shark, to tell you the truth. And so while they weren't looking, the evil genius, he escaped. and they just turned around and they couldn't find him anymore, and they didn't know how he did it, and there wasn't any trace of how he did it. But that was a lesson that they weren't going to forget: is you got to keep an eye on this evil genius guy. So we don't know what we're going to do as far as catching this guy, but at least we got the Maracas beach cleaned up. And so then the spy kids, they stayed in Trinidad, and they stayed in school for the semester, and they learned. They're so smart, and they paid attention, and they did all their homework, and they had healthy food, and they helped out the little brother spy kid so he would get smart and learn how to play different kinds of team sports. And then Superhero Grandad, he had to go home to Maryland because there was snow, and he had to clean off the driveway. So that's all for right now, kids. And we love you, and goodbye.